So Randy Orton was the special guest on Logan Paul's podcast, and the whole thing is really fascinating. I mean, when Logan Paul asked Randy, "Why are you called the Viper?" and Randy Orton pulled his snake out? Dude, I don't even know if that's PG. May or may not have happened. They did call JD McDonald Bubblehead though.
Your RKOs, some of them are incredible. You did one at War Games against a bobblehead guy.
He was very well aware that he had a large head.
So I highly recommend this podcast. I mean, I could listen to Randy Orton talk for hours. The man is just so interesting and has so much knowledge in pro wrestling. It's really, really fascinating, so make sure to check that out. In general, Logan Paul's podcast is one of the very few podcasts that wrestlers appear on, and it offers us a very different vibe. You get to see Logan Paul absorb information like a sponge, get to hear wrestlers' opinions on certain things, and in general, see wrestlers in a very different atmosphere in front of these two goofs. So I always watch Impaulsive whenever they have wrestlers on. Look, at the end of the day, I'm a mark. And during this episode with Randy Orton, he actually revealed a lot of interesting stuff, and we're here to talk about it. So welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you already didn't. Let's just jump into it. One interesting thing that Randy Orton revealed is that he is not leaving for Hollywood, which is something I've heard before. He said, "This is me, I am not moving on to Hollywood, I love what I do. I'm not gonna take a day for granted, not a second in that ring for granted." So first of all, when it comes to not taking things for granted, this is something that I already told you guys. I watched this man at Survivor Series on Raw, and I could feel it. I could feel it in the entrance, I could feel that in the ring, in his facial expressions. The man is not taking this for granted. And when it comes to Hollywood, I don't know why people have such strong opinions on this. I mean, when it comes to John Cena, yes, it's a bit hypocritical. He said he would never leave, but at the end of the day, it was a goddamn wrestling promo, and I'm kinda happy that some wrestlers are able to move on from wrestling to Hollywood and not risk, you know, their bodies anymore. Now, if they want to stay like Randy Orton, this is something that we wrestling fans really, really respect, so great. I mean, at Survivor Series after the show, Randy Orton kind of told us he wants to be there for another 10 years. Randy Orton revealed that he would love to hold the record for most world titles in WWE. And I must agree with Randy Orton on this one. So both John Cena and Ric Flair have 16 world championships. Randy Orton, I believe, has 14. I'm not sure if this is going to happen, but if Randy Orton is going to be in the WWE for 10 more years and we do have 2 world titles again, I think there is a possibility. If he's healthy, if he can still go in that ring, why wouldn't you give him another WWE title? And this could be a great story somewhere down the line. You could build an entire rivalry out of this. It would work really well right now if Randy Orton was already a 16-time WWE champion, and if he would beat Roman at the Royal Rumble, he would be a 17-time WWE champion. Well, we can't do anything about that right now. But you know, given Randy Orton's dedication to pro wrestling, I think it just feels right. Randy is also a Triple H guy, so I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But again, his dedication to pro wrestling is just unmatched, so I really hope that one day we will be talking about Randy Orton becoming the 17-time WWE champion. Logan Paul was impressed how Randy Orton can just be in the moment. He doesn't understand that. So Randy talked about it and revealed that Logan doesn't get it because he has to practice the whole match, every single spot, while someone like Randy Orton with certain wrestlers can just talk a little bit and kinda improvise, live in the moment, appreciate the crowd, appreciate the atmosphere. Randy Orton is kinda underselling it, but if you listen to wrestlers like Edge, Christian, Big Show, I believe, who else? Mark Henry, Daniel Bryan, who's considered the greatest wrestler of this generation, all of these people said Randy Orton is the greatest wrestler they ever faced, yet Randy Orton doesn't even realize how great he is. I think Chris Jericho said that too. So he makes it sound easy, but you could tell Logan is just impressed. He doesn't get it yet. And again, that's what we all talked about. Randy is just living in that moment, appreciating that he can wrestle again. They also talked about that crazy Orton spot, and it's pretty funny because this episode of Impaulsive was recorded before SmackDown. So Logan said, "I'ma do do it. And that's exactly what he did on SmackDown. I knew it looked familiar. Randy also gave a bunch of compliments to Logan Paul, and he also said, "The first time I met you, I looked you in the eyes, and I already knew you're being serious about this." Randy Orton could tell. I mean, we all kinda, after the first Logan Paul match, knew that this guy is good. Like, he's really, really good. We didn't know how serious he is about pro wrestling, but given how, you know, much dedication it takes to be a professional wrestler, it was obvious this guy means business. Randy Orton also talked about being an asshole back in the day. He pretty much talked about how this was just fake confidence. He didn't understand the power he has, the influence he has on people, so he was acting like a dick, but now he understands that, you know, just saying hello to a kid, asking his name can change the kid's life, pretty much. One thing about Randy Orton is that I believe he found family. It took Shawn Michaels to find God, you know? It took Randy Orton to find family. The man is all about familia right now, man. He's tight with Rey Mysterio, and for a very good reason. Speaking of Rey Mysterio, he said it felt so special on Raw to wrestle Dominic because he and Rey are pals. So, you know, back in the day, Rey being kind of a mentor to Randy Orton, and now Randy Orton wrestling Dominic on Raw, imagining Rey Mysterio watching the match, this felt special for Randy. Sometimes we forget about these kind of details. We watch the match and it's like, Randy versus Dominic? Come on, we want something, you know, bigger. It's Randy Orton's second match after returning, but we don't realize that there's a bigger story. They also talked about Dominic Mysterio's transformation, and I could go on and on about this. We all know how special this was. Nobody saw this guy as anyone credible, but my man just switched in a day. Logan actually told a funny story about Dominic. When Logan Paul defeated Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship, backstage he said, "Damn, your father is a legend." To which Dominic responded, "Yeah, f him. My man stays in character." One thing I didn't realize about Randy Orton is that he had to change his style due to multiple shoulder injuries. So he revealed that he doesn't do a lot of lifting in the ring, which is something I didn't even notice, if I'm being honest. And I've watched a lot of Randy's matches. Like, I've been watching wrestling since 2004. This is something I didn't really notice. I remember back in like 2011 he started doing a powerbomb, but then just kind of stopped. It's not that he can't do it, but he just wants to protect his body. Logan Paul insinuated that one day they might wrestle together, to which Randy responded, "I think so." I would love to see this match. Now, Randy Orton is not necessarily the ideal opponent for someone like Logan Paul, but I guess the selling point of this match is how special that RKO is going to look like. I mean, if we get Randy versus Logan, trust me, we will see another great RKO. That is a given. They also talked about how the small things in wrestling happen. You can do all the crazy ass shit, risk for absolutely nothing at the end of the day if you don't get the small things, which I absolutely agree with. Now, Randy Orton's facial expressions going crazy, right? This is something that people are talking about right now. And on Raw or War Games, we saw a lot of athletic shit. Is anyone talking about this right now? I feel like some wrestlers do forget that. It's all about the little things. So Randy Orton was just spitting facts on the podcast. I absolutely agree with the fact that it's all about the little things, man. I feel like a lot of wrestling fans, modern wrestling fans, don't understand that. They see a bunch of flippy ass shit and think this guy is the greatest pro wrestler of all time. Well, he doesn't make me feel anything. You guys get what I'm trying to say? There is a reason why everybody keeps saying that Randy Orton is the greatest wrestler right now. So when someone like Daniel Bryan says Randy is the GOAT, and some random ass dude on Twitter says Randy is boring, headlock, Randy is boring, I'm with Daniel Bryan on this one, right? So the podcast was very entertaining. Make sure to check it out. And I do like the sound of Randy Orton becoming the 17-time WWE champion. So thank you for watching this video. Like if you enjoyed. As always, the great one. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.